this equipment.
I blame myself.
So do I.
No sense worrying about it now.
Why worry? Each of us is wearing an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on his back.
Yeah. Now let's get ready. Switch me on.
Well, that's great. Either I have a monster in my kitchen or I'm completely crazy.
I don't think you're crazy.
That makes me feel so much better. Are you the keymaster?
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
If the ionization rate is constant for all ectoplasmic entities, we could really bust some heads. In a spiritual sense, of course.
On Ghostheads, it's another episode of the Ghostheads radio show. My name is Ted, aka Steady. Joining me as always, my partner in crime, the one and only Matty B.
It's Miller time, and let's get that going. And also, Bryce New, On Target Creations, hit him up. He's going to be in the chat. Get one of these custom bracelets. Let's go.
There you go, Bryce. We see you. What's going on, my friend? We had a great show for you guys. We will have later on in the stream two teams back to back, the Virginia squad as well as the Sacramento team. So we're doing it big from both sides of the country tonight. We also have some Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed updates, and we also have some more news pertaining to our toy drive that we've been teasing for a while. We're a week away from the launch, and
How
we
many
have more
chapters,
to talk about.
Ted? Just say the amount of chapters.
Right now, we're looking at 35
chapters nationwide.
35 chapters nationwide. But first, someone who's been on the program before, someone who we've talked about a lot, someone who has brought us some incredible events. If you recall this past summer, the coverage that we had from the Superhero Car Show and Comic-Con, he is also the creator of the Ghostbusters Film Festival that features Ernie Hudson. You saw the videos from that event. He is the one, the only, Mr. Bob Wills. What's going on, Bob?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing great.
Fantastic.
Good to have you, bud.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you for having me. Do you always go live this time of night every Tuesday?
Yeah.
Every
see,
Tuesday.
this is when the parents can get their kids to bed. Yeah. So yours have left the nest. We have. I don't have any kids, so I would prefer to go around 7, but it appears as if that's not how the fan base feels. So they like to stream late at night when they can forget their worries.
I don't blame them. There was a time when I used to be a late night guy. Didn't go to bed before 1 or 2 o'clock at night. Once you get to my age, hey, 10 o'clock is a target to stay awake.
Oh, I hear you.
Shout out to everybody who's watching right now. If you are watching, get in the chat. We want to know what you're up to this week. Let us know which part of the country you're in, which team you're representing. What are you most looking forward to for Thanksgiving dinner? That's what I want to know. Thanksgiving is upon us. What dish are you most excited about? Everybody has something different going on in different parts of the world or different parts of the country. Very unique dishes that I'm learning about from time to time. So let us know.
Yeah, and also,
Bob.
is gravy a side? That's a big question. Is gravy a side? Put that in the comments there. Or is it a topping? Is it a side or a topping? Put that in the comments. Let us know how you feel or what your favorite side dish is.
It's a partner, guys.
It's a partner, yeah.
It's a partner to mashed potatoes. It's a partner with turkey. It's a partner with a stuffing.
It's my
you don't put your
my
mashed
main
potatoes
dish.
on your turkey.
Yeah.
The gravy, it kind of goes every direction.
I do a ladle on the
Some people might.
whole plate. It's a whole plate thing for me. I'm a big gravy guy.
It's a soup. It's a soup for Matt. That's what it is. Bob, I don't know if you've seen. There's a very popular local downtown restaurant, Mi Tierra, who's been promoting a Thanksgiving dinner for those who don't want to get in the kitchen. Are promoting a
Ted.
served. Sorry about that. They're actually promoting a turkey dinner with mole served with a tamale stuffing. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty good to me. You ever heard about that yet?
No, I mean, it's to no end. We live in crazy times with inflation. With turkeys up 70%, people are trying to find. Probably restaurateurs are trying to find different ways to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. And talking about inflation, and someone who last summer really helped us out with that inflation with one of the best deals that has ever came to San Antonio, and that is the superhero car show and Comic-Con, Bob. I mean, I experiencing it myself. 14 and under free, was that what it was? Or am I wrong on that?
Yes, 14 and under free.
14 and under free. $10 commemorative popcorn bucket, free all weekend, free refills all weekend. Just pay your $10. You were selling Pizza Hut slices that were 3 slices of pizza. I think it was like $6. And I just got to say thank you for your help during the inflation. Pre-show, I got for anyone in San Antonio, I got confirmation from Bob that inflation is not going to affect our popcorn buckets moving forward. So thank you for that, Bob.
No, as I told you, we may be the only show in America that runs its own food service operations. So we own our own popcorn makers. We own all the popcorn tins. And it's good to be in the popcorn business. Look at the movie theaters. I mean, they cornered the market for years, and they still do. But we said, wait a minute, we can do something better, because you love that Batman popcorn tin.
And I got to be honest with you. I only bought it because I wanted to put it there. And then I realized how good the popcorn was. So the thing to me about popcorn, sorry, Ted, to take this on a tangent.
Go for it.
There's certain types of popcorn. You have microwave popcorn, which tastes way different. This Conn's popcorn tastes like movie theater popcorn. It had the vibe to it, Bob. You cornered the market there. It was delicious. I was like,
we had the former CEO of Santikos Theaters who told us what popcorn makers to buy, what popcorn seed, the butter, all the things we did it no different than they do at all our theaters here in San Antonio.
That's to me.
You went to the right guy.
You always got to go to the right guy. You got to get good advice.
Absolutely.
That's kind of a segue.
Hey, that is kind of a segue,
It's
Bob.
kind of a segue of going to the right guy. Ted, you want to set that question up about going to the right guy?
You know what? Let us, go for it. Go into it. What are the things you want to tell us regarding the Superhero Comic-Con and Car Show for 2023?
Ta-da! Well, if you're following us on our Facebook page, Superhero Comic-Con and Car Show, we've already announced, our dates, which are July 7th, 8th, and 9th. So 3 days after the 4th of July holiday. Don't get too sunburned. Get ready for an amazing show. We're very proud of the show we had back in August, where we had, Ewan McGregor, he was off the charts, and we had Dave Bautista, we had Haley Atwell,
Giancarlo
Esposito, Stephen Amell. I mean, we had the most unbelievable lineup of any Comic-Con. And right away people were saying, oh no, San Diego had a better one or New York had a better one. Those are really promotional cons. They're not Comic-Cons. most of the guests that are in San Diego, you can see them at a panel, but you can't get photos and autographs with them. So, all our folks, you could. And of course, then we put on a concert with
The
the
Blues
Blues
Brothers.
having them there. That was amazing. And all the unique things that we did. We had this incredible free play arcade that had all these machines. And I mean, I'm not talking about little baby machines like you'll see. We had full-size driving games, and
They had Terminator, Salvation. There was pinball machines like you wouldn't believe. Okay, I go to a lot of cons, and now everybody's doing Nintendo Switches and all this stuff. No, the Superhero Car Show at Comic Con had some classic pinball machines. Terminator I mean, like there was arcade games. Like and I believe the tables, like kind of by the concession area, there was a little part right there where it was the Pac-Man tables too, where you could play Pac-Man, but also you can sort of have your drink and have some food. Bob, you did it out there. I mean, you did it, Bob.
Oh yeah.
we broke the norms, which is something I've done my whole career in all our businesses, of giving people what they want. And, that's our intention again this year. We have a very unusual situation here in Texas. And as everybody knows, for those of you who live in Texas on your podcast and those of you who are watching from all around the world, we've got about 29 million people that live here in Texas. And it's a big fan state for Comic-Cons. So, you have the Houston show and the Dallas show and then our show. So Houston is 6 weeks before us. Dallas is 4 weeks before us. And then, I'm going to use a corny old saying because I'm a corny old guy sometime. And that is, what do they say? When you're last, save the best for last. And our partnership, and this is, what I want people to know, is our partnership with Ace Comic-Con, who the Ace Experience has put on the best shows in America. And they are working with us. They are handling the guest list. And while there's nothing to report, I mean, we're 8 months away from the show. And, you see a lot of big names don't only get announced like 90 days before a show, but that should tell a lot of people, if you're a serious Comic-Con goer and the history of Steve Shamus and Ace, we're going to have a spectacular show. I mean, folks, we had Ewan McGregor before he ever did a regular Comic-Con. Yeah, he did Star Wars Celebration, about 2 months before us, but we're going to have major guests. You can count on it. And I tell people, if you want to save money on your tickets, they're now on sale. Use Super 20 when you check out, and you can get it 20% off on all your admission tickets. But we're going to have a spectacular show. We'll have new cars. We're going to have a big new stage in the Fan Expo Building 2, to where we're going to do more panels and shows. And then first time for us, we're going to have a major comic illustrator area. So that's going to be new this year, and we're looking at different people from around the world. So we're not going to disappoint. We don't do that. Our show is to exceed expectations. I was telling Maddie before we came on the air, our very first show we put together in 60 days, and people thought we were fakes and frauds back in 2018. And then we announced that we were having Jason Momoa and Ben Affleck, and said, nobody brings in those kind of stars on their first show.
Yeah, well, that's everybody's wives. You can't get Jason Momoa. There's no way.
And not only did we have him once, we had him in November, then we had him the following June with almost his whole cast from the Aquaman movie.
Oh yeah, incredible, fantastic.
Yeah.
So
And-
for those who might not have heard, 3 stages. We're going from 2 here that we had panels and events and showcases, moving it up to 3 stages. And you've already announced a partnership with Ace Comic-Con. If you haven't heard about Ace, they were putting on the biggest lineups and conventions across the country. I mean, everybody from Marvel, from DC, Star Wars, Ace had them. So you announcing that Ace is being involved again and they're helping with next year's event, it does show that you're aiming for the sky once again. And for those who might have missed it, your tickets are on sale now. You get 20% off now, and you're gonna be guaranteed a pretty darn good show. You get your tickets
Yeah,
now
save
while they're
save
on
20
sale
now.
because
Save,
if you're gonna wait till you hear,
yeah.
price is gonna go up by that point.
And definitely save 20 now. This is important. We're going to put the link into the chat here. We see the chat rolling. We're going to get to your comments in a moment. But I do just want to say for anyone out there who wants to save 20, Bob Wills and his team have an interesting take on how to blend nostalgia with what's new. There's an interesting way, the same way a curator puts together an art gallery, that Bob, you put your cons together. It's a nice blend of nostalgia and new things. People, what's now and what's back then. You do a great job of blending those two things together. It's like peanut butter and jelly, guys. Save 20 and come
Well,
out.
you got peanut butter and jelly, but you got all types of peanut butter and all types of jelly and jam.
Yeah.
And let me tell you about some of those jelly and jams.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
We're going to have Marvel guest. We're going to have DC guest. We're going to have Star Wars guest. We're going to have Harry Potter guest. We may have some unique categories of guests coming in. They're going to say, "Who? Are you kidding me?" So,
Yes.
It's 8 months away.
Yeah.
And yes, it's going to be very spectacular. And, save the best for last. We're going to be number one in Texas. I can promise you that.
I think that might have been that title fight might have happened last year, but like any great champion, it has to be 2 out of 3. So if you win next year, you're the champion of Texas, in my opinion. You took down in the first round of the boxing match. You have the next one coming up, 2 out of 3. If you knock it out of the park this year, you are the king of Texas, Bob. That's a fact.
Well, Maddie, you probably don't know there's an old country western singer named Bob Wills, and he was called the King of Texas Swing.
I do know that because when I searched you to have a little bit of information and talking to you, all I got was these old country singer Bob Wills.
I was just telling my wife the other night, I said she didn't even know it. There was another country western actor named Chill Wills. And, you can look him up. He was a big time actor. He did movies back in the day with, from all the way from Bob Hopes to, oh my God, what's the Duke, of course. And a lot of other actors earlier, you talk about the 60s and 70s and 80s. But anyways, yeah, it's kind of I've been told I could, just based off of my name, Bob Wills, that I could open up a Texas steakhouse, a Bob Wills Original Steakhouse. And
you have a great name. And actually, it would be kind of cool, like, because now looking back at you at the con, and obviously cons are stressful for those putting it on. As a guest, you would never understand that it was stressful. But for people working it, there's a lot of things going on. And so it would be cool if you had an alter ego that was, Chill Wills. So, like, when everyone was stressing out, you just came out just like the Big Lebowski or something. And it was just, no, everything's chill, you had an alter ego.
Well, I do have one. There's hundreds and hundreds of people. And you would never know by looking at me, the pasty white guy, but my nickname is Taco.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, because I used to head up marketing for Taco Bell when I invented the free refills and 59-cent value menu back in, 1988, 89.
Yeah, actually, everyone in the chat, just so you know, because we're all nerds, and that means we most of us don't have a lot of money. So the value menu is a great thing that Bob Wills came up with, and McDonald's dominated with that through the '90s. But it all came through the idea that Bob had around '89 of helping Taco Bell establish the value menu, and other fast food restaurants started to see, hey, wow, this is really working for them. We can't let them, just dominate that space. And so they started to add the value menu. So the value menu as a concept might have came from Bob Wills here.
It might have. I'm not sure for sure.
That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Yeah, let's get to the chat.
Yeah, that's what Taco said.
See, we Legacy Nerds in the chat saying yo, and definitely
Ted, we got to get you fiber. Look, we need Bob Wills to get fiber out to
Here we go. Definitely wasn't. There you go.
You guys waiting on me?
No. Legacy Nerd says definitely was an awesome show last year. Got to meet Stephen Amell. Absolutely. Bryce, who's from South Dakota, the South Dakota team, says need to hit up San Antonio. Absolutely, you got to. I
want to tell her about Stephen Amell because he is one of the coolest dudes on the planet, and he was so thankful, so appreciative. We originally ran for one day. He offered to stay another day. We did that, and when I went to FanX up in Salt Lake City in September, and I was in the green room, and all of a sudden somebody comes around me and just like bear hugging me from the backside, and then he puts his arms up and he's going, "I got you." Anyways, I turned around, there was Stephen Amell, and he is one of the nicest humans, and he's one of the nicest celebrities. I mean, anybody ever gets a chance to meet him, I'd say go for it, because he's a great dude.
Awesome. Yeah. We met him briefly. We did a little bit of content with Stephen, and because we had the media passes that you graciously provided us with, we were happy about. But we just wanted.
Well, by the way, those have yet to been paid for yet. I'm still waiting. You're on my receivables report.
Well, my bank account's kind of weird, and I have a new accountant, and I was doing this 1099 thing, but we'll work it out. We'll work it out. But
you can work the drive-through window at the popcorn stand.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll do that for sure. I'll sell the shit out of popcorn, Bob.
We said all you can eat is how we'll pay you.
But Stephen was awesome. We had a brief moment with him, and his handler or agent there that was with them. I mean, he was so gracious and cool. Stephen was an awesome guest. Actually, almost all the guests you picked were like super easy to talk to. And so, and that's important when you build a con too, because it's not just like, are they a big name, but like, are they going to provide value? Are my guests going to feel that if they pay $75, that when they leave, they're going to have a good experience? So curating that is a really important process. And last year, whether it came organically or by accident, or if you really did it on purpose, the guest list you had last year was phenomenal in that regard. And,
thanks.
Everybody
was a showrunner that, I won't name, there was one back in 2019, there was one guest we had, big name, in the green room in the back. He and I had some words, and I said he was a little bit of an asshole to me. But you know what? When he was out on the floor with the fans, he kissed their butts. He made everybody feel like $1 million. And I don't care how they treat me. I'm not bringing them in so I can meet them. I'm bringing them in so that the fans can have a good time. Absolutely. And meet their heroes and the people they adore. And that's what you really want.
Yeah. Bob, it's clear that you care about that. I just want to it's clear that you care about the fans and the people who spend money with you.
I got two things. Number one, Bob listens to the fans more than anybody else does. So if you're in the chat and there's somebody you want to see, throw it in the chat right now. Who are the guests that you would want to see at a convention? Bob wants to hear this. Bob wants to hear.
Who would you fly to San Antonio for? Who would you buy a ticket to San Antonio to come see? Who would you do that for? And then we have Legacy and Nerd in the chat here. Throw that in there. Spill the tea, Bob. Spill the tea. Who was the celebrity? That's not going to happen on the show. It's not going to happen.
Not
ladies.
gonna happen. Second thing though, Bob, what were your initial reactions when you found out that the panel with Giancarlo went super viral, went #1 on Twitter, broke the internet? We were on every major headline and news source, pretty much across the country. What was your instant reaction when you found that out?
I was trying to understand if they thought you looked better with or without a beard, Ted.
There you go. That's what it was.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. No, Giancarlo was fabulous.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to get me to buy his car, his Volvo, from which show is that in? Is that which show is it? Is that he drives a Volvo in? God, the guy's doing so many shows at the same time. I forget. It's probably way past my bedtime, but anyways, yeah, he's an interesting guy. You know, the guy works Monday through Friday filming, and then he arrives Friday night and he appears at a con all weekend, and then he goes back to work on Monday. I mean, if you're going to hit up anybody and rob anybody, this guy must be making so much money 7 days a week. I mean, he might be your target.
Absolutely. And you weren't off there, Bob. So just so you guys know, Bob has it might be 1 million cars at this point, and famous ones at that. If you had been to the superhero car show in Comic-Con, you would understand. But it was Gus Fring who drove a Volvo in the Breaking Bad series.
That's the one.
Yeah. So he might have been trying to get you to snag that one, which, Bob, if I had your money to spend, I might buy it.
Is it worth $22,000?
I'm looking at 17 right now as the value that I got on it. 17 was what I was seeing.
Yeah, I think he was talking about the time last year or earlier, 6 months ago. It was like 22,000.
Yeah,
He might have been trying to make an extra 5,000 off of me, thinking I was a highly targeted and naive car buyer. The answer to your question is I have 56 cars.
56. 56 awesome cars. You have a DeLorean, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the Ecto-1. You have some of the Jurassic Park vehicles.
Got an original Batmobile from '66. Got an '89.
89.
89 Batmobile. Got a Bat Cycle.
Yeah.
So,
the
got
A-Team.
Fast and Furious cars.
Oh, you have the
1970 Roadrunner that Vin Diesel ran and drove in Fast and Furious 7.
And
It's
Triple X.
one of the nicest cars I own.
Yeah, Triple X. You have that one too, and then you have the like the F1 type car that Tony Stark drove.
Oh yeah, how can I forget that Tony Stark's F1 racer from Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
The story is on that they had two of them that came from the studio. There was the actual car, then there's the one that they chopped in half in the scene, and so they said, okay, this one is 120,000, and then the two cars the car cut in half, laying on the ground, that was 30,000. And I said, I don't think anybody cares about the one that's been cut in half. I'll just take the one that's still drivable and goes like a bat out of hell. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I got some great cars.
We have some responses in the chat. Legacy Nerd says the surviving members of the original Power Rangers team. That would be pretty dope. And he also says Mark Hamill. Wouldn't that be a gem? That would be amazing.
Yeah,
that certainly would. I keep trying with Mark.
Ooh,
come out wherever you are.
Yeah, because I mean that's awesome. He crosses so many things. Hey Ted, I think you forgot a special guest comment from Bryce there. I don't know if you saw that one.
One, Matty B.
Oh yeah. He definitely wants to see me there, Bob. So
how much did you pay? How much did you pay Bryce? Are you going to share your popcorn and beer with him?
Absolutely, yeah.
If I don't sell liquor at our shows, but if I was selling beer, I would give everybody the popcorn for free because they'd buy more beer.
That's true. Hey. That's exactly true, Bob.
Yeah.
You're so smart. I like this guy, Bob. I love him. I just want to sit down with you for dinner, but I'm not cool enough.
Boy, knock yourself out there.
No, but it's good, and I appreciate you coming on and talking about this because it's something we're really excited about. We really loved last year. I loved every day of last year. It was hard work, but I loved every second of it. It was fun, and everybody working said the same thing. I didn't hear one person complain the whole time, and that's just so unique and refreshing.
So let me turn you guys into a focus group
Okay, yeah.
for a
I
second.
love it. I love
And
it.
I've been thinking about, you hear Comic Con, like not just comics, but what about comedians? I was wondering if I should do a special show at night where I had, we did a comic show that had 5 SNL comedians, or get a bunch of people up there to do that. And could be, I'd love to see Adam Carolla. There's a lot of comedians out there that I'd love to bring in.
Yeah, or even if it was just like kind of I don't know if you guys or if you're fans of this, but the original Blue Collar Comedy Tour, they did something very interesting at the end where they all got together on stage and they sort of just told their funny jokes. And regardless of what style of comedy that you're in, that's worth a 30-minute to get a few funny people on stage to entertain is really good.
Mhm.
Live music is great, but comedy, I think, adding into the Comic Con is interesting because I see comics at music festivals. I remember I
Oh,
went
yeah.
to Bonnaroo. Bonnaroo has comedians. Coachella has comedians. I don't think adding a comic element to a Comic Con would be at all out of
And part of it is to help. There's a part of me that likes to make a difference. We in considering bringing comics in, you look at, I hate to say, the woke world that we live in a lot of
Yeah.
respects. They've really come down hard on comedians, and a lot of them have been put out of work. Unless you're in Vegas, where anything
Everything
goes.
goes. Yeah.
There's a lot of problems. I mean, you look at all the things that Dave Chappelle has been saying, and people coming attacking him. The guy's
Oh, yeah.
funnier than shit.
Oh, yeah.
People got to stop taking it so damn serious. They're not, when they make a racial comment or a sexual comment, that doesn't mean they're racist or they're sexual perverts. They're just making fun of ourselves as people, and that's it.
Well, that's how we used to do social commentary, and that's changed a little bit since people who don't have a sense of humor have taken things over. So I totally agree with you there. But there's some cool comedians in Austin that will check the right boxes to where they could be a little bit edgy. Tony Hinchcliffe in Austin. You could even do even a Ron White right now would totally sell out. I mean, if you had Ron White to come in, and now he's gone on his ayahuasca trip, and he's been on Joe Rogan, he's done all these things. I mean, he'll be fine. If you were to get somebody, and he's a Texas boy, and so if you were to get somebody like that, they would sell it out.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them.
But anyway,
we have a couple of
Kevin
items
James.
here. Yeah, Kevin James, Jeff Dunham, couple of names. Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Smith would be great.
Kevin Smith would be incredible because he's also, he's one of the nerds. He's one of us. Legacy Nerd says, yeah, he would definitely go to a comedy fest. And then he says, San Antonio Actual Comics Comedy Con. There you go.
Yeah. That would be good. Kevin Smith would almost be a good host for the comedy show.
What do you guys think of Jay Leno? God bless him because he had a bad accident last week.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Jay Leno's a king. Is he the bobblehead corny king? Yes, but he is. He had.
But he's also a car show guy. We got a car show.
Jay Leno's Garage. I watch it all the time.
Yeah.
He would be incredible to have in that staging area you have for the car show. I mean, that's like getting the top headliner you could almost for like that type of thing. But I mean, Jay Leno would rock it. in that area.
You just never know.
Yeah.
Never know what Bob Wills is going to do.
And that's true. You just never know.
Never know. Bob, we appreciate you jumping on and coming on with us. I will actually ask you one last question. Anything at all that you want to tease about next year? I know you've already told me over the phone that you fully expect next year to be even bigger than the event you did in 2022, which is saying a lot. But anything else you want to say to everyone listening, everybody in the chat right now?
Well, as far as it being bigger than last year, and maybe a lot of people in the chat don't know how big it is, so maybe you might recap that for them, or they can go look it up. But you remember the old spokesman for Men's Warehouse? So when you ask, is next year's show going to be bigger than this year? And he would always go, I guarantee it.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
I guarantee it's going to be bigger.
Bob is not going to let anybody down. So save 20. We're going to put all the links in the chat. We're going to repost some of the content from last year as well, so you can see how awesome it was, especially the Giancarlo panel that we sent viral across the world. The New York Times picked it up. Yahoo mentioned the con specifically. We're going to put all that stuff back so you guys get that.
Hey, we were on Entertainment Tonight.
Hey.
It's gonna be great. So save 20 and get your tickets for San Antonio now. I'm telling you, they're not that expensive. Fly on in.
July 7th, 8th, and 9th, San Antonio, Texas, Freeman Expo Halls. We'll see you guys there, and I look forward to coming back on your show.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Bob. Can't wait for the announcement.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Real quick before you go, Bob, pulp or no pulp on the orange juice?
It's all natural. There's no.
Oh, okay. So
it's not made from concentrate. So.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, let me see here. 1, 2.
It's pulp. It's some pulp.
It's got some pulp.
Some pulp. Okay, great. Thanks, Bob.
All right, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Appreciate you. Take it easy. Awesome. Big news. Big news. And also, big updates.
I know Ted and I were geeking out fans chat. Everybody is still here hanging out, but Bob is an incredible dude. He's an inspiration in the area. He's starting up one of the biggest cons that we have around the guest list. The access that he's given and showing appreciation to a San Antonio grown show has been very appreciated by Ted, I know for sure, and myself as well. So we wanted to bring him on to put that out and for us to fanboy a little bit, because Bob is a hero for sure.
Absolutely. And I mentioned earlier, he put on the film festival that featured Ernie Hudson, and it was a tremendous success. I mean, Ernie had a line like nonstop, the multiple days that he was there, and he was so great with the fans. Everybody who went left with the biggest smile on their faces. It was like a dream come true, and it was a multiple day event. And I mean, even the Ghostbuster teams, the chapters that we had, drive in from around the state, they all had the time of their lives. It was just like we were all on cloud nine. Mandy's gonna take a quick break here. That was con promoter Bob Wills, who runs the Superhero Comic-Con and Card Show. If you haven't seen our coverage of it, I was lucky enough to moderate multiple panels from the event. Once the stream is over, I dare you to go over to our YouTube page, Countdown City Geeks. I already have panels that have been that were recorded for Giancarlo Esposito, the Nasty Boys, the Sailor Moon panel. Who else is up there? Brandon Routh, Superman himself. Fantastic guest, fantastic panel that he had. That was tremendous. And I would highly recommend, if you are thinking about coming down for the con, if you're wondering what convention you should go to, I promise you it'll be worth it. If you were considering going and you're not sure when to buy tickets, you should just buy them while they're on sale. So save 20 is the code. Check out the Superhero Comic-Con and car show. It's going to be a tremendous event. Last year was incredible. Ewan McGregor, we already mentioned Stephen Amell, Simu Liu was also there. Haley Atwell was there. Like, crazy huge convention that he put on last year, and he's already mentioned it's going to be bigger.
Yeah, and we don't even. I don't know how to speak about the tier levels in a respectable way, but I will say that down from the top of the guest list to the bottom of the guest list, everyone was worth meeting. Like there wasn't really any ancillary, like sort of weird, like you were in one thing one time sort of guest there. Everybody was someone worth meeting.
Absolutely. Bryce is in the chat saying it's awesome to see cons growing and growing and growing each year. SuperCon is expected to be at least twice as large as this past year. We even have not just our convention center reserved, but also our arena. It's going to be huge. That's fantastic,
Damn.
man.
Well, Bryce, the South Dakota Ghostbusters are doing a damn good job. I think you guys are really kind of on the forefront there of some of the cosplay groups, just based on your content and everything. So I'm sure the growth of your group has had something to do with that, Bryce. So keep it up.
Absolutely. You know what? We're waiting for the Virginia team right now, so we're gonna talk a little bit about Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. Because finally, I've been playing it like crazy. Me and Maddie have been doing some games. We've been busting some ghosts. It's been a lot of fun. If you're in the chat, if you're playing Spirits Unleashed, I want you to let us know what level you're at. What level is your character at? And Maddie, I'm already at 30, and there's a cap at 30, right? Right now. Did you
I
see
don't
that?
know. I don't know if there's. I mean, they may have changed that. I don't play it that much, Ted. I got to be honest. I'm at like level 26, and I've played it. I've maybe only played it like 7 times, to be honest with you. I go in these long spurts. I don't have the attention span for gaming like I used to. I love Spirits Unleashed. Don't get me wrong, but I go on these streaks where I'll play just for hours and hours and hours at a time, and then I'll sort of fall back. But we have seen the new tiered system being teased, which starts at level 100. So if you're saying you're being capped at 30, I don't know what that means. If they did that on purpose to make sure that nobody got to like 99, and then they released the tiered package, and then they just have one level to go. So maybe they capped everybody at 30, knowing that they were going to release that patch later. So most of the players who really, really, really play the game will be able to start at a 0 again from everyone starting from 30 to get up to that
So
prestige level.
yeah, this was also, I haven't played it since they've announced the new patch, so maybe it's changing things. But I could not surpass 30, despite the fact that my XP was going beyond it. Um, and so I also wanted. Can I tell you a story? It kind of freaked me out. You
What?
ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yep.
everybody in the chat, this is really important, and I'm also gonna post a video about this. So family is all downstairs. I think we're watching a movie or something like that, and we hear a crash. Not like a car crash. We hear like a big thump upstairs, and I'm like, I don't know what that was. It sounded like something big fell over. Okay. Uh, I go upstairs because I'm the man of the house, and I'm puffing up my chest. I'm like, who goes there? That type of thing. Nothing fell over in the bedroom. Nothing fell over in my son's room. Nothing in our washroom or anything like that. I walk over to my studio, and what do I see? Lying on the floor, my Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed Tobin's Spirit Guide is lying on the floor. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I better not have been given some sort of haunted or hexed collector's edition item because this thing is sturdy. There's no breeze, there's no windows open. I mean, we haven't had an earthquake in the area in like a week, but still, there shouldn't have been any reason whatsoever that this thing fell over. I took video of it because I didn't want anyone to, like, I don't know, second guess me. But if it happens again, I'm gonna have to call actual Ghostbusters because this thing may or may not be haunted. Ilphonic, you have some explaining to do.
Hmm.
Handle it, Maddie. Handle it.
I mean, if I could, I would, but I got to be honest with you, Ted. Sometimes shit happens, and who you gonna call? But it's
Absolutely.
yeah, thanks for setting me up for that. I've always wanted to deliver that line. That's my first chance I've ever had to deliver that line in like cohesion with a conversation. Bryce says he's grabbing popcorn to listen to the story. Legacy, you should do the white noise reader on your phone and
Listen,
live stream it. Live stream it, Ted. This is a challenge from Legacy, from Daniel, from me to you. You have to live stream a white noise reader on your phone and do it for the
so
show.
from time to time, weird things happen in my house. I'll hear like a cabinet door slam every now and then. It's happened more than once. It's happened dozens of times. But I feel like nothing escalates for the sole purpose that I'm not doing the whole white noise reader thing on the phone. You're just opening up a can of worms and a whole plethora of things to start happening once you start giving those things attention. That's just my opinion. So, anyways, I'm keeping an eye on the Tobin Spirit Guide. If I have to like put a lock on it or something, I will. But for now, it's okay. But literally, I'm in this studio twice a week. That thing has been there this whole time. If it was gonna fall before, it would have fallen sooner. Like, that's all I'm just trying to say. That's
Can
all
I
I'm
be
trying to say.
honest? Can I be
What's that?
honest? I don't believe in ghosts.
What are you
So
talking about? You live
I
in
don't
one of the
believe in
most
ghosts.
you live in one of the most haunted cities in the world. In the world.
I don't know. I don't believe in ghosts.
All right. Well, to each their own. Legacy Nerd says, we did that once on our old phone. It said, kill your mom's name. Once the house was paid off, she put it on the market. Yeah,
There you go.
that's when you for sure leave.
That's a good
Cool.
one.
We're gonna keep the stream rolling. We actually have, I promised, a huge show, and let's go ahead and get on to our next guest. Um, one of the groups that is also partaking in our National Ghostbusters Chapter Toy Drive. Y'all make some noise for the Virginia Ghostbusters. Say what's up to Jeff. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Fantastic,
Doing
man.
good,
How are
Chad.
you?
Hi.
Foxwell,
Figured it was
fantastic.
it's a work function, Got to wear the uniform.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We don't mind at all. That's fantastic.
Did I overdress?
No. You're
Uh,
good. Fantastic. We're underdressed. That's what it really is.
Ted still hasn't. Ted, do you know why this is a special episode for me?
Ooh, why is that? Is this your anniversary?
No. Why is this
Oh.
a special episode for me?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're a Virginia hometown guy.
I grew up in Blacksburg, Virginia, home of the Hokies. Let's go, baby.
All right.
Yeah, and you can see that on my wall right there.
Yeah, my wife's a Hokie, so we are
Oh.
anti-Who house.
Yeah. Well, but honestly, given the circumstances, Hokies are Who's for now. And but yeah, it's cool to have you on. I grew up in Blacksburg, Virginia. My parents live in Christiansburg now. But it's I lived in Portland for like 10 years, but I spent my first 21 years in Virginia. So where are you guys located out of?
So we have members all across the state. I'm personally out of Richmond, Virginia. We have a larger section of our groups here in Richmond, and then we have a very large presence in the Norfolk, Virginia Beach area.
Oh, hell yeah. So RVA and the Tidewater.
Yep. And then we've been slowly growing in Northern Virginia. Still got to get the Roanoke area involved.
Yeah, but there's some down there though. I should put them into contact with you guys if you're
please
if you're down with that. But I definitely know some big GB fans there in the tip, if you will. Just the tip.
I knew you were gonna go there. Prepare for the Hard R show, folks. Prepare for the Hard R show.
Hey,
It is what it is. But that's awesome. So,
Real
what do
quick,
you, oh, go
Jeff
ahead.
is not alone. We have a returning guest who's also part of the team. He's sort of shaking his head no right now. It's one only Jamie. What's going on,
Oh,
Jamie?
Jamie. Report all ghosts. I didn't know you were going to be
Report
here. I
all
would have
ghosts.
canceled.
Awesome.
Oh, we can't
Oh
hear him.
man, you know what?
Yeah, you know when you're muted?
No audio. No audio.
Oh, I
No
thought you did it on
audio?
purpose.
Oh, there it is. We're good.
Aha! I heard you guys whispering about the hard R. I came to
Oh,
crash the
yeah.
party.
He's like,
Yeah,
somebody call my
yeah.
name. Awesome. We got some folks in the chat. Bryce says, "What's up, Virginia?" Kevin Quinn says, "Hello there, Chris. I am here. Hello from the Michigan Ghostbusters. What's up, Michigan?
Hey, Michigan.
Michigan. I know some
Fantastic.
people from Michigan. Is that Derek Brown?
No.
No.
It's a fellow named Kevin Quinn. Kevin Quinn. Appreciate
Kevin.
the chats, big bud.
And Bryce says, "Keep it PG, Maddie. Maddie has no idea what PG means."
It means pink gums. It means
Yeah.
kids in seats.
Yeah. Yeah. It means parental guidance. And as your daddy, I'm telling you it's okay.
Can I call you daddy?
This is 1980s PG.
That's wild. That is wild.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, if you've seen the show before, if you've been watching us for weeks or months now, we've been highlighting Ghostbusters chapters across the country, talking about all the good that they're doing, because I hate to say this out loud, they kind of don't get enough credit. And I know we don't do what we do for credit, but I understand, and Matt understands, like we see teams doing so much good that we should at least talk about it once in a while and give folks the credit they deserve, to let them know that we appreciate them, that they're doing great, and also how people at home can help chapters in their community that are still doing big things. So, Jeff, Jamie, we're going to start off this conversation how we start off every conversation with chapters. Let us know how you guys got involved with the Virginia team and maybe the history of the Virginia team. Talk to us about that a little bit.
Well, I got involved with the Virginia team just a couple years ago. I built a proton pack in 2007, 2008. Used it at my wedding. It sat in the closet, collected dust, and I seen Jamie running around town, and I was like, oh, I wanted to use this for some good. So started joining the group to joining at mostly the charity functions. I really like that portion of it. So that's how I got involved.
Absolutely. And you said you were chasing Jamie around. Jamie, what exactly were you doing?
Swatting Jeff away from my behind while he was chasing me around.
I like that.
There you go. Like one does. How did you get involved? How did the chapter start out?
Man, it's been so long. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't even have a spinal column anymore from wearing a proton pack. We've been doing this for over 20 years now.
Oh my God.
Credit where it's due. Back in 2001, Mr. Daniel Harshman, aka Dan, the Rude Boy, he started Ghostbusters Virginia in name and as an entity with him and just a couple of friends down in the Hampton area. Us not really knowing that the other existed at all, I was doing the exact same thing in Richmond, but I did stumble across his internet page back when the internet was the wild, wild west. And I was like, dang, there's already a Ghostbusters Virginia, so I'm going to do Ghostbusters Richmond Division. And he had actually hit me up not long after because I had stolen some images off of his page. But, I mean, you know, they weren't his anyway. He got them out of the Ghostbusters RPG. But point aside, we now knew that one another existed. Jump forward to about 2008. I was graduating high school and had wild aspirations of being a filmmaker. And so I decided to make a feature-length Ghostbusters movie that was supposed to be Ghostbusters 3, titled Ghostbusters Hellbent, with the help of some other people in the community, like Mr. Hank Braxton. And for the first time, Dan and I would meet because he came up to our premiere. We did a big show, had a open house premiere at a local theater here in town. And it was at that point that we decided, this should just be a thing. Ghostbusters, like, let's join forces and touch our tips. And then, like, slowly but surely, it stopped being a costume group. It evolved into so much more, closer to what it is today. And then somewhere in between there, also to speak more on Dan Harshman, because he is officially our founder. He is the only person who has been involved in this longer than I have by a pinch. He's also the co-founder of PKE Surge out in Dragon Con, which is one of the largest gatherings of Ghostheads annually.
Wow.
So, and then
down in Atlanta, right?
Yeah. Every year, all those nerds get together and do ghost stuff, and it's a fun theme every single year. But yeah, now, I mean, it's so much more than that. We started going to cons together, and as I had mentioned, I think in our last stream, really in the past 10 years or so, franchises doing this charitable aspect has become more and more popular. And now it's completely out of control. I couldn't stop it now, even if I tried, and I have.
Very nice, very nice. Let's see here. More folks in the chat. Kevin says he joined Michigan Ghostbusters after he was kicked out of a Star Wars group. Jesus. And
Surprise,
started
surprise.
his Ghostbusters gear outfit 4 years ago. Well, congrats, man. I'm sure you guys are doing great over there in Michigan. Rick Kane's in the chat. What's going on, Rick? How many jerseys do you have now, man? Let us know. So Virginia team, we love asking about past events. We love asking about most memorable moments. You know, these chapters, these groups, they have some crazy ass stories. So we want to hear the goods. What's your favorite moment being on this team, or your favorite sort of funny incident? How many times have you been arrested? Those kinds of things are what we want to hear. Go for it.
Arrested, I'll leave that to Jamie. But no, so in the short time I've been involved, we've mostly we do a lot of work with Make-A-Wish. So we've gotten to drive Ecto 1 around the Richmond Raceway, the NASCAR venue here. That was pretty cool. But and cons and more cons.
For sure, yeah.
But my favorite is we got invited up to New York last year for the Afterlife premiere. So we got to go up there and walk around, and we happened to be at the firehouse at the right time. So we got to see everyone,
Nice.
which was pretty cool.
That's tremendous. So the Raceway story, that's an actual replica of the Ecto 1, or is this like a custom one that somebody has?
It's Jeremy West is a member of our group, and he has a 67 Cadillac Hearse, and he's got that done up. If you go to the Ghostbuster VA webpage, you can see pictures of it. He takes it all over Virginia Beach. He brings it up to Richmond sometimes. He does a lot of birthday parties, tons of birthday parties. Yeah, that is, it's coming up on the holidays. It's its busiest season, but
yeah, and I just threw it into the chat, ghostbustersva.com.
Thank you.
Have a web page, and I mean, I don't know if you went through GoDaddy for that or whatever it might be, whatever popular web hosting service. You guys have done a really good job with your website there, and I was looking at a few things and seeing the New York, and I like the extra takes on the Ectos. I've seen some really good Lincolns. I've seen some really good Cadillacs. But anytime you can find a classic hearse or an ambulance, it's always great to see it turned into an Ecto 1. And I can definitely see Report All Ghosts here. Just looking like a complete maniac here. Looks like he's on the America's Most Wanted list out here. But I did see this. Ted, can I share my screen here?
Oh, please do.
Yeah, let me share my screen here to the Ghostbusters VA page. You see a familiar friend here?
Is that Eugene?
Is that Eugene Stevens
That's
from
Eugene
Austin
Stevens.
Ghostbusters?
There
Yes,
must be multiple copies of that guy because he's literally everywhere.
dude. Eugene is a great friend of the San Antonio group and an awesome dude all around. A great maker too, great prop builder. But it's cool to see him there on your homepage.
Yeah. Well, that was in front of the Ghostbuster 2 museum. We ran into another group of Ghostbusters that were touring. We did our own thing, but we all bumped up. And my favorite memory there was the gentleman with the red Union. What do they call them? The PJs,
The onesie.
the onesie, and he just
The
stripped down
onesie
right on top of
onesie.
the on top of the grate. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
really
cool.
one of the best parts about New York. Wasn't even like the premiere or anything like that. It's just these are people that you associate with online on the regular. Some of which actually have been people I've considered my closest friends for 15 plus years, and this is the first time a lot of us are meeting for the first time, like in person. You know, you got Yes Have Some, the Shrek Family Ghostbusters collection, all the best, all the classics.
Oh yeah, Jamie, we haven't heard a story from you yet. What do you got?
Story.
Oh yeah,
Well, once upon a time.
PG.
back in my
You
day.
just went just Morgan Freeman on us.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many wild stories. I actually have, Jeff jokes, but I have been stopped by a cop just once, which is not even like on official duty, but going back to when I was filming my Ghostbusters fan film. This is when we were young and dumb, and we had done up one of my friend's Jeep Grand Cherokees as an ectomobile, and not looking into any sort of like laws or anything like that. Like we said, let's buy some strobe lights, some blue strobes from Spencer's, and just like stick them to the roof. That'll work, right? And so we're riding around on Main Street downtown, sirens blaring, and then sure enough, some other blue lights showed up behind us, and the cop gets out, takes one long look at the car, looks down into the window, and like pulls his glasses back, and he all he could ask is, "What the hell are y'all doing?" Like it was very obvious to him. We had no idea. We're like, busting ghosts, busting ghosts, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, seeking attention. Yeah.
More or less. But I mean, aside from that, yeah, really, everything that we do, I think one of the I don't have a specific story so much as all of the interactions that we have with some of our fans, whether it be young or old. We get a spark out of just about anybody. And oddly enough, like as a Ghostbusters group, we actually have a small gaggle of children who we look up to us entirely, which is first a large mistake. Secondly, just mind blowing, because I like to refer not only to us, but a lot of people in what we do as the off-season Santa Clauses, because especially to a younger person, like well, I mean, like you meet when you're a kid and you meet Santa Claus, that is Santa Claus, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So to these children, like we are the Ghostbusters, and that's it. I mean, even when I was a kid, I saw a dude in a Batman costume, and I'm like, that's Michael Keaton, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
See, I have like an opposite take on that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that like when a kid meets Spider-Man, he kind of knows it's not Spider-Man. But I think when he meets a Ghostbuster, like even grown adults still believe in ghosts. Like kids still believe in ghosts. I think that Ghostbusters have like a little bit of an edge there, where you know that this really isn't Batman, and you know that this. Has Spider-Man shot a web yet? The whole time he's been here, did Batman show up in the Batmobile? No. But if Ghostbusters pull up in an Ecto One and you have this piece of equipment on your back and it's lighting up, we might be a little bit more legit than some of those other cosplays.
Or
We've
we're just
been
landscapers.
we've been questioned by grown adults and older than us, like, hey, are you guys real? And we're like, do we look fake? They're
You
like,
guys
are you...
actually suck ghosts.
we
Well,
get those questions, and it's fantastic. I love it
and
every time.
there's some odd requests, and we've actually got some interesting stories having done these chapter highlights for so long. We've had chapters on who's like They've had crazy people like, my dead husband's in my house. I need you to get, and like continuously calling and leaving
All the
voice.
time. That's one I actually forgot about. No, you're absolutely right. I had a woman, I completely forgot. A woman did call me, and I don't even know how she got my information because, like, we hand out business cards all the time, but there's no phone number on there. And this woman was dead serious that her female best friend had passed away recently and was visiting her, and she wanted me to come help make contact. I was like, like, you sound like you want this so bad. Like, what do I say to you right now?
Oh my god, awesome. Kevin's in the chat. Also, Sacramento, you guys are coming up next. We'll see you guys shortly. Hello from the East Coast, from your friends on the West Coast. Kevin Quinn's in the chat still. I get a lot of comments when I walk around with my proton pack, when I go out, and I respond back a wave when I'm out of breath, and I play Ghostbusters music when I get saying towards me, who are you gonna call?
Another controversial topic, Virginia Ghostbusters.
Absolutely.
Ted and I are kind of on the same page here. I don't really like getting a ton of who you gonna calls. It's they're trying to put a power move on me. I'm supposed to say who you're gonna call. Like when I'm at a con or I'm doing all these different things and I get a million who you gonna calls, eventually it just turns into the Casper joke. Somebody else. You know what I mean? I can't. You're calling me, okay? I'm not asking you who you're gonna call. But what do you guys think about that?
I concur. It is a little weird. I like to say me, but it is interesting.
Has that worked for you in bars with ladies or anything?
If I was still single, I'm going to defer to Jamie that way.
Does that work in the bars? You just show up in straight Ghostbusters outfit, Jamie, and you're like, "Who are you gonna call? Let me get that number, girl." Does that work?
First of all, I don't even need to do that because
Oh.
it's really all about the car. Chicks dig the car.
Chicks dig.
Val Kilmer taught us that.
It's also your incredible intellect and obviously good looks. I mean, yeah.
It's obviously my epididymis.
I agree.
And the hair.
But more importantly, you should probably, before you call us, you should probably be calling the authorities.
Oh, just so they're ahead of the game.
This is a serious situation. Call them, then call us.
There you go. Absolutely.
We're contracted through the city, right?
Right. Peacock.
Taxpayers' money. So you guys talked about you've worked with Make-A-Wish Foundation. What are some of the charity events or the organizations that you guys support, and what do you guys have coming up that people should know about, and how do they help you?
So you can obviously go to our Ghostbusters VA page, and there's links to our main charity partner there. The
and
QR
a QR
code.
code, yeah. Scan that, guys. Scan it.
Yeah, and it's in the chat.
Yep. We've also worked with the Colon Cancer Alliance. That's a personal charity for me as a colon cancer survivor. I wanted to work with them. We've also worked with, we're hoping to work with some local pet charities here soon. That's something that we've got cooking that we're hoping to do. Trying to think of some other ones we've assisted.
Well, it looks like you have a junior program, Ghostbusters Virginia, the Junior Puffs. It's a great T-shirt. I can tell you that. Let me pull it up here.
It is on a T-shirt. You should stop by our T-Public, where you'll find a bunch of great designs.
Yes. Yep.
The Ghostbusters Virginia Junior Puffs. It is incredibly good T-shirt. They actually have a lot of really good ones in here because the classic slogan in Virginia is "Virginia is for lovers." They have a "Virginia is for Busters" tee. I mean, they got Virginia is for Busters. What is this here? I got the Virginia is for Busters. What's the Plasma Con?
Ah, man, that was fun.
That was fun. That was during the pandemic. We decided to host an online convention for all things Ghostbusters. Jamie did some interviews. I interviewed Sandy Peterson the creator of the Ghostbuster RPG. Who was the gentleman you had, Jamie, that did all the science?
Gosh, his name was, man, I feel so bad right now. I'm such a jerk. His name was Sam something, but he was the literally the scientific consultant for Ghostbusters 2016. And no matter what you think about the movie one way or another, His job was to make any science on set or via dialogue
Shit.
make sense. Like if you were to bust a ghost using particle physics with today's technology, what does that look like? What does that sound like? And for a science nerd, I thought it was a pretty incredible interview. We also had Yes Have Some on, and really it was a community thing. We tried to get as many franchises as possible involved with making this thing happen. Laura Summer also did a signing for charity. Although it was almost like a telethon, I guess, more than anything, because we were also using it as a venue to raise funds for our official charity partners.
And so when
That's
are we gonna get
incredible.
some college merch? Because we have
College
James.
merch. What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, so you have Virginia Tech. We need a Virginia Tech, Virginia Ghostbusters logo. University of Virginia Ghostbusters logo.
Man, these are great
What is it?
ideas.
The Rams.
Someone
Richmond,
should be writing this
VCU,
down.
Liberty University. You have JMU. I
Damn
mean,
it.
come on! It goes on for days.
Hey,
It
a
does.
Hokey Buster shirt would be pretty sweet.
Well, no, Jeff,
You Virginia
we're
guys are
doing a
crazy.
Who Busters.
Right,
Who
right. But
Busters.
the Hokey Bird in full gear would be.
Yeah,
I
you're
like
right.
that.
If you really kept it in that direction, I'm really on board.
We're
And
always trying to pump out some cool stuff, so keep those
yeah,
ideas coming.
do college shirts in Virginia because that's going to be huge. And I'll wear one as long as you send it to me for free. I'll wear it every show. You know what I mean? I'll wear it the whole time.
Our most popular one on the page as of recent, which sucks that it's so popular because a bunch of bootleg sites have actually picked it up, is we do have one on TeePublic. That's the Ecto Fire Club, which is a spoof on the popular Stranger Things shirt. And
Yeah.
I've lost track of how many of those we've sold. But yeah, there's a lot of bootlegs of that one running around. That makes me kind of happy.
I'm surprised there's
in a
not more.
weird way.
This one's great, guys. This one's really good.
Yeah, keep your
Oh, yeah?
eyes out because it's a program we really want to go well, and it's really all about children's outreach and STEM in regards to mixing science and Ghostbusters that makes kids like interested in the learning. That also kind of mimics like the classic 80s fan club kits that you'd get from real Ghostbusters. So that's something
Yeah.
we're really proud of, that we're working out the bugs.
And I also kind of see a small infinity sign here, whether that's on purpose or not, but that, it lives forever sort of thing. You could really do something with that. I love what you guys have put together here on this website. It looks great. It's one of the better websites we've seen and we've had a lot of chapters on here, but you guys got it really going here.
We got a heck of a webmaster.
We really do.
Jason Glisson, he's our webmaster. If you haven't checked him out, his PKE thing he is working on is amazing. Let me see if I can find his.
We had the Ghostbusters Northwest on a couple episodes ago. You guys have seen their stuff on YouTube? The Ghostbusters Northwest?
I love them, but I hate them because there's stuff like, why didn't I think of that first? Because it's such a good idea.
It's so good.
So good.
It's so good. And they're animators. They like want to produce cartoons. That's what they do. And you can
Really?
kind of
That is cool. Yeah.
And when you have that little bit of knowledge about them and you go back and watch it again, you'll see how they're setting it up that way. It's actually they're really cool and interesting dudes. But they have the biggest patch I've ever seen. I've never seen a bigger patch than the look at this thing.
You're sort of a patch connoisseur, Matty.
He definitely is, if there was ever such a thing.
Look at this thing. It's
Good
huge.
God.
Beautiful.
Wow.
You've never seen a bigger patch than this in your life. There's no way.
Where do you even stick that? Will that go on your shoulder?
Like, this is my hand. But it's beautiful, isn't it? But
That's great.
Those guys are really, really good and talented dudes. And every time we do these things, we start to realize how cool and creative that
Everybody
our
is.
community is. It's much more inclusive than other ones. Like we heard somebody who got kicked out of a Star Wars group or whatever it might be. And I'm not hating on any other cosplays by any means, but the Ghostbusters are just like cool, creative dudes, and they'll have a beer. I don't know about Jeff there, but I know Jamie will definitely have a beer.
I've got a beverage here, man. If you get a chance to just speaking on it, definitely check out the Ghostbusters Virginia YouTube page. We got a lot of really cool content there.
Can I also say,
the interviews from PlasmaCon should still be up there too.
Really?
There
I
you
want to
go.
check those out for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Here it is. Pixel Prop Store. He's put a link in here, but he's
Yeah,
working
please.
on a kit for converting Matties with authentic PKE sounds.
Does it actually tase people? Like, is that what you're trying to
No.
tell
Nah.
us?
No.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
One of these days, somebody's gonna do that, and we're all
I
gonna
hope
get in
so.
trouble.
I hope so.
Some little
Ghostbusters.
ornery kid at a con, and he's just being a douchebag and keeps trying to grab your PKE meter or whatever, and you just sap his dad in front of him.
Don't
Like
tase me, bro.
that's what you get.
Yeah, absolutely. Gentlemen, it's been a fantastic time talking with you folks.
yes.
Finding out about the chapter. You guys are incredible, and I know we've already discussed things offline, but I'm here to do this formally, and we've done it with every chapter we've had on. We've been doing this for months now, but
Put him on the spot.
next
Put him
week
on the spot.
we are launching the official 2022 Ghostbusters chapter toy drive, a nationwide toy drive where we're going to be accepting donations for 3 weeks, ranging from the end of November through the middle of December. And we're getting as many chapters involved. We had a lofty goal of 20 chapters. We've already surpassed 30, and we're going to ask Virginia team here on this stream, are you going to answer the call, join the cause, and be part of potentially one of the biggest toy drives that this Ghostbusters franchise or fans have seen ever?
I don't know, Jamie. What do you think? Yes, of course we'll join you.
Yeah.
100%. I don't even need Jamie's permission.
I wish this was it's true, he doesn't. I wish this was a reality show. There needed to be like a really tense like moment with some high pitched music there.
There you go.
Yeah,
A drum roll or something. We'll have that
Well,
next time.
we're looking for a producer and a third co-host. So maybe we'll get Jamie on as a third co-host, and then
Oh,
we'll
no.
throw Jeff on the boards.
There you go.
Putting up the work.
Yeah, well, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Hell, we're blue collar guys. If there's a steady paycheck in it, what? I mean, come on.
There you go.
Come on, we'll do anything you say, man.
There you go.
No,
Well,
please
listen.
send me the info. We will definitely love to help you in any way we can.
And just so you know, the details on it are simple for any other chapters watching. All
Yeah.
you have to do is dedicate a time with your group to a cause in your community that you care about. So it's not like you're choosing our charity that matters to us here in San Antonio. Pick something that matters to you in your town and dedicate 3 weeks of your time, not every day, but over a 3-course period, try to collect as many toys as you can. And then let's do a final tally at the end to see what we did. And then that would be the most important thing ever. I have to assume now, I think we can get to 40 by the time we're going to launch this thing. I think we can do it.
Okay.
That might be 100,000 toys.
I believe.
Wow.
I believe.
We've
But
got a
see-
toy drive this Saturday, so
Yeah, but
Is that
include
the
that.
Saturday?
Count that in your
that is
tally.
this Saturday.
It's not
I-
about it's just about how many toys can these specific chapters gain in their communities. That's really all it is.
And
That's
real
right.
quick, because there have been a handful of chapters that have had questions or concerns about what qualifies. We're not putting restrictions on anything. We're not saying your toy drive doesn't meet our requirements here. If
That
you're
doesn't matter.
if you're a chapter, if you're collecting toys at any point in time during this holiday season, we are considering you as being a part of this campaign. And I want to make that as clear as possible. I don't want anyone to feel like their event isn't worthy or they're not doing enough. Like if we have 10 chapters that say, "Oh, I don't think that this would work out, so we're not going to join." No, it's not like that. If you have those 10 chapters, at least collect for a day or a week or 2 weeks out of the 3. That still helps. That's still better than a goose egg that would have been put up in that area. We're doing this for the greater good. Anything is better than nothing. Make it as easy as possible. Do what you can to make it work. And that's all I'm asking. That's all that we should be doing.
We
Just
got Kevin
doing
Quinn here.
good.
Kevin Quinn in the comments. What did he say there, Ted?
He says, "Ask the Lansing, Michigan Ghostbusters to that call. I will
Have you
message
ever
you
heard?
guys tonight."
I've made a lot of pitches in my life. 2-for-1s are rare. That's a 2-for-1 right there. That's a 2-for-1 right there. We love you, Kevin. We'll hit you up on Facebook about the opportunity. And again, it's making it as simple as humanly possible. Pick something in your town you care about and stand outside in a jumpsuit for a little while and make a difference in your community. It's really not that hard. We spend a lot of money on all this stuff. Do we do it just for gratification at parades? Because we get so much of it there, right? Get out there and get your ROI, get your return on investment. And that's in the heart. That's in the soul. Get out there and do something good. And it's
And
the
have some
holidays.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have some fun. I like to tell people, because people, you go to an event, you maybe raise $50 and people are like, oh, we only raised $50. If you raise $1, that's $1 going to a charity that wasn't going there before.
Absolutely.
So that's a success.
Absolutely.
That's a success.
It is. And that's all we're asking for. If every chapter, if we get to 40 chapters, we get to 50 chapters, all those 50 chapters put in a little bit of effort, collectively, that's a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's way bigger than just our team doing something in our town. So that's the goal. That is the mission, if you will. So we appreciate you gentlemen joining the cause, answering the call, and we're gonna see a lot of you guys very soon. Y'all make some noise in the chat for the Virginia Ghostbusters. Maddie's about to be your number one seller.
I'm already a number one fan.
Customer on your Virginia.
I am a Virginia Ghostbuster. I didn't wear out my VHS tape in San Antonio, Texas. I wore that shit out in Blacksburg, Virginia. All right.
We got to make him an honorary member. He's from VA, man. Come on.
And another thing, when it comes to helping everybody out, Jamie, not me. Do you know me?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, me and you we're here.
Yeah. I just want to make sure you're not me. That's all.
I know what you mean. I got you.
I appreciate that. All right, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate
Until
you,
next
gentlemen.
time.
Have a great night. Great talking to y'all.
Later.
Well, geez, man, I feel like Dick Van Dyke at this point. I mean, we're just having the nightly show going here. And we have Sacramento coming in next, huh?
Sacramento. We're going all the way from the East Coast. Now we're going to the West Coast. I told you we're gonna have a big show tonight.
Yeah, you did. You didn't lie.
No, I did not. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna keep the stream going. We're going from the East Coast to the West Coast, from Virginia to California. Y'all
From
make some
sea
noise.
to signing sea. That's literally.
Y'all make some noise in the chat for the one and only Sacramento team. We got Andrew, Alex, Chris, Aaron. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, how's it going? Yo.
What's up? What's up?
Oh,
hey,
man,
how you guys doing?
Are you guys? Is Andrew and Alex? Are you guys lined up right with your names on the screen?
Andrew.
Andrew.
I'm Andrew. Alex.
Andrew, you look like, man. I want to have a beer with you, man. I mean, you look like a guy I want to have a Coke. You look like the guy I want to go to have a drink with over there.
This is a year-long event going on.
Oh, Chris and Aaron are on the original iPhone. Actually, it's a vintage thing here. They're on the Apple iPhone 1.
Our head's like that small. Really? Hang on, let me see the picture.
Well, there you go.
Well, I think he's trying. He's doing
just
the
push
right
it back
thing.
a little bit. There you go. You guys
Yeah,
can
that'll
cut it
work.
together.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Throw it towards the landscape. Just give it a shot. Just
No, he was doing it, and it's not working out. It's weird.
Oh my God, you have like an autocorrect on there. Either way, go back to portrait mode.
Why is your face stripped?
We'll make it work like that.
You guys look great.
How's it going? Hey, something happened. Whoa. All right. There we
Nah, I'll just go back to it.
Ted,
Sorry
Ted's
about
just
that.
playing Tetris. Ted plays Tetris sometimes.
The Sacramento team, appreciate you guys joining us. We've had an
we're glad to
incredible
be here.
show.
Thanks for having us.
Definitely. You guys have already seen how we've done these things, and we're excited that you guys are here right now. So we're going to ask you what we ask every chapter when they first jump on. How did you yourself get started with your local chapter, and how did the chapter come about? Do we have the founder here somewhere?
Hello.
Andrew, give us the deets, man. What's the story?
So I've known this fool since kindergarten. I said, "Hey, fool, we're gonna start up a Ghostbuster team." He's like, "Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it." It was like a way to honor his father. His father passed away, and that was like their movie that they loved watching together, Ghostbusters. And so when he said, "Hey, I want to do this in memory of my dad," I'm like, "Sign me up." That was 2010.
2010.
So we're 12 years in. Chris and Aaron are actually, they have their own group, and we kind of merge groups. So Sacramento Ghostbusters, and they head up the Terror Dog Squad. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm actually I helped start the Terror Dog Squad with our friend Kevin a while back. It was just one of those things where we wanted to do something Ghostbusters, and then and Kevin was walking around by himself as a Ghostbuster at a Comic-Con, and I was like, we should have at least 3. And then so we started doing that, and then we met Aaron a little bit later while we were it started with basically we were modifying proton packs for Halloween one year, and right around the time that everybody started doing it, and then so we met Aaron through Facebook Marketplace because he was trying to find a proton pack, and he found us, and he was like, "Hey, how much are you guys selling those for?" And we're like, "Oh, we don't really, we just play around with them a little bit," and then so when Aaron came about, he'd already had a flight suit and everything, and then we, so yeah, two flight suits and no proton pack. So we set him with a proton pack, and then we pretty much the rest is history. We started doing gigs together, and then we met another Sacramento Ghostbuster, George, who introduced us to these 2 wonderful gentlemen, and you know what, these guys are like the funniest guys you'll ever meet, and so it's just it turned into that. I mean, that's kind of where I started up with the Terror Dog Squad, and then I'll let Aaron tell his 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Well, we did. I started out with Ghostbusters way back when. I'm a little bit older, and we did an actual skit for Ghostbusters when it came out when I was in the 8th grade, and I loved it then. And I was thinking, man, how cool would it be to have a proton pack and load up and all that stuff? And you dreamed about it for years. As a kid, I was just like, that would be cool someday. And, I never had the money really to put together something or build anything like that. When they started making the spirit packs and stuff, I'm like, we can modify that and make it bigger and stuff like that. So, like what we did, we take the ghost trap, we put it on the side of it, which makes the trap just a little bit wider. And, so, Chris is really a wizard at, doing the weathering and stuff like that. And so I've been making props for years. I make a lot of blasters for Star Wars and cosplay and stuff like that. And, so we went and got Spangler wands, which were a godsend. And we got them back when they were cheap, when they first came out.
Nice.
Onto it, and we put the little hangers on it and stuff, and we started doing stuff, and it just started snowballing really quickly, doing different events and stuff like that. We did food for families out in Orangevale here, and a couple of different things. We've been to the Crocker Art Museum with these guys, and that's how we joined up with that, and it's been really cool. People dig it. We did a shoot in Old Sacramento at the train depot. They have the really old locomotives and stuff. So we did some shooting down there, and it turned out really cool. And, it's a good community thing. Anybody can be a Ghostbuster, man. From kids on up to however old you want to be, you can put on a flight suit, slap on a proton pack, and hey, man, you're a Ghostbuster. So, it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Chris has a fan in the chat. Kevin Gwynn says, "Nice to see you there, Chris."
Oh,
Yeah. And I can totally relate to, because there was a drought, and to be honest, this isn't a popular opinion of mine on this show, but I wasn't the biggest real Ghostbusters fan. I was a big fan of the movies. I wanted my proton pack to look real, so the Kinder pack never really did it for me. Some of the toys, the Ghost Popper, and some of these things, they didn't quite do it for me. I kind of wanted to have it look more real, and so when the Spirit pack came about, and that's actually what I have back here. It changed the game completely for having something that makes sense. And I actually encourage everyone with a 1x1 pack to go get a Spirit pack, mod it out, and then wear that during parades. We have a guy on our SATX team who has probably the realest pack I've ever seen, but it's everything is metal. And this thing is 70 pounds. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot do a parade in these things. So just a PSA, a safety tip, if you will.
Yeah, those packs get heavy, and the joke with our team is, since we founded it, I kind of was like, I'm upper management. I don't carry the pack anymore.
Upper management.
Yeah,
wow.
But because it was him and I with hand built packs that were like 30 plus pounds, and one of our team members, Jay, he's he just retired from the Air Force. He's in film school right now. He built his pack, so his pack is incredibly heavy. He's got circuit boards, wiring, speakers. It overloads and it steams. It has like a steam release. So the amount, like heavy packs just mean that's a lot of love and time and effort and money that got put into it, and they're definitely works of love. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love what we were doing.
Oh, for sure. And we actually,
Absolutely.
speaking of heavy packs, there's a guy I met named Brent Locker who was at this Ernie Hudson event. I think he's from the Dallas area, and he has the Phoenix pack. So the bumper actually extends like in the video game, like on the vent release. It has all these different things. I put that onto my back. I mean, it had to be. You had to have an Alice frame to even wear it. The Alice frame was not aesthetic. This thing might have been 110 pounds. It was the heaviest thing I've ever had on in my life. So, kids, visit your Spirit store before they're out.
Absolutely. Andrew, I hope you don't mind sharing. Alex said that this was sort of in honor of your father. What do you mean by that?
Well, after my dad died, I kind of went nuts for a little bit. I'm like, I need to put my energy into something, or I am going to end up in a very bad spot. So I put it into Ghostbusters. In fact, I was a pretty big Transformer fan. I had over between 300 and 400 Transformers.
Jesus.
I sold them all to get this franchise off the ground.
Oh yeah, like when we started, we hit the ground running. He had a pickup truck that we turned into our Ecto, like into an Ecto mobile,
which was my dad's actually.
Yeah, his dad's. Full uniforms, packs. We were ready to go. I think we're on to. He's built probably 3 Ecto.
Yeah,
3 modern Ecto conversions.
My Ecto truck, my Ecto EXB, which was a Scion XB. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the one that's like gets the most, like, even to this day, because we've done Make-A-Wish and we used that for Make-A-Wish. And then my newest one is the
RAV4.
The Ecto R4.
So this picture right here, that's our Ecto Fun is what we call it. That was built by Mike Pendlay. He's the guy. He's right here in the photo next to little Kylie, and he built that. So that is a 1961 Miller Meteor that he converted. He got like a 59 body kit. The thing, he bought it out of state and had it. I think he said he bought it in like Oregon, drove it from Oregon all the way down. That's about 9,000 pounds that he hauled.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he built it. It runs like feet per gallon, I think. Yeah, but it's a beast. And one of the coolest experiences that we got was after the Sacramento Afterlife premiere. We got to get a police escort and drive it around the state
Oh
capitol.
man!
So
Come on, let's run some red lights.
Yeah, oh yeah, we got to run some red lights. We had he was he was in the chase vehicle or the Ecto R4 with the speaker, and people were just like, "Who are you gonna call?" Or like, "Oh my god!" It's an amazing experience. I'll try to get the link so you guys. We actually have the video of like our little cruise on YouTube, so I'll try to find that and post it in the comments.
And he's already put the gunner chair in it.
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
the photo.
So the thing was, it had a lot of like body damage, and all of a sudden, when he saw the preview for Afterlife, he's like, "I don't need to put like $10,000 in restoration work. I'll just do a restoration." It looks like it's rusted, but it's all hand painted. He hand painted the rust. He put a sealant on it, so even though it looks rough, it's meant to look that way because it's pretty close to the Afterlife Ecto.
Great looking group, great car, fantastic. We ask every chapter, what is some of your most memorable moments or your funniest moments that you've had with the team? It sounds like you guys might have a lot since you're a bunch of characters already, but the floor is yours. What do you want to talk about?
Let's have Chris and Aaron start off with their experience. We've been talking a lot. We want to share our share the love.
Let's do it, Chris. What do you got?
You got something?
If you were to ask me the most memorable experiences I have with this group, other than just the fact that these guys are just amazing to work with and amazing to play with, is that I actually got to sit in the driver's seat of the Ecto, and I actually get to drive it up and down the ramps.
He does. He loves it.
And
he lives for it.
For a funny reason, actually. It's because I'm actually around that time of night when we close up, I'm actually the smallest guy there. So they're like, that's
Ram him in the front seat. He'll fit next to Slammer.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, that's all you, man. I'm like, all right, sure. And it came about funny because George, bless him, he's a funny guy. We're about the same height, and when it came time to actually get in, and we were talking about, okay, someone's gonna have to ride this up while we all hold the planks down and everything. And then they're like, we need the smallest guy, the smallest, lightest guy. And then George, I'm a little bigger built than George, but we were standing there just looking around at each other, and we're about the same height. So George like gets up on his tippy toes, and then I'm like, yeah, so it's me. So it was like one of those things in Ghostbusters 2 where it's like, someone's got to go down there. Yeah, someone's got to go down there. And everybody looks at me. And I'm like,
yeah, he's nominated.
I'm like, you know what?
For that kind of
and then since then, I've actually been the onloader and offloader of that amazing vehicle.
One thing that was pretty fun
yeah.
Around Halloween, we got to ride the train down in Sacramento. They drove the train up and down along the river. And they had, people going on in his rides. We were dressed in our Ghostbuster outfits and stuff. And they played music on the train, stuff like that. So we were dancing and having a good time with people. And at the same time, they had the Iron Man run going on alongside in between the river and the train tracks. So there's all these runners going by. So we were waving at them and having a good time. And it's,
nice.
What it is. I really dig the community stuff. It's just, outreaching to people and making people smile. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I do this. I mean, I dig it myself. I love cosplay and everything, but I love to see people smile. It's not about money or anything else like that. It's just for the laughs and the smiles, So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
You're in it for the right reasons, brother. That's what I've been talking about.
I think for us, the most memorable experience we had was the Make-A-Wish. We had a little Ghostbuster fan who had gone through many heart surgeries. He spent 180 days in the hospital at one point, and his dream was to be a Ghostbuster. So Sony, since we were a Ghost Corps team, Sony sent us a message saying, hey, Make-A-Wish is going to reach out to you guys, do whatever you can to help. And so it became this memorable experience where the entire city of Sacramento, with our Sacramento Ghostbuster team, fire department, police department, helicopters. We turned this kid's day where he saved the city. It started out in a fire station with like a brunch, and we got to teach him how to be a Ghostbuster. Then all heck breaks loose. The alarms go off, and it's like, all right, we need you to save the city. His name was London, so there's all over downtown Sacramento.
Did I see that on Ghostbusters News?
Probably it was
yeah,
on.
yeah.
It was,
I remember a part of the story. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no problem.
This was I didn't know that was you guys. So this is an incredible story. So continue. So you had brunch.
So we had brunch at the fire station with the police department, the fire department, all these news crews. We're talking with the parents and the kid. I think I was on Good Morning America and CNN for like a minute or two, and then the alarms go off and we have to go. The little guy jumps into his ecto. And there's this huge motorcade. We're driving through Sacramento to the old Sacramento part, the historical part where the Railroad Museum had it set up where there was a ghost where he got to go in and bust a ghost, and crowds all over the street. We went to a couple different locations till we went to the waterfront where helicopters were flying around and a marshmallow man comes out, and then the little guy saves the day. The mayor comes out, gives him the key to the city. And it's something that like we will like forever remember, because like the look on his face was like we lived that experience through him. Because like when we were kids, I had a backpack, a super soaker, and a jump rope, and I was running around saying I was Winston, And then this kid actually gets to live the experience, and then we had like just some small part in it. Was amazing.
That is incredible, honestly. It's stuff like that we want to hear about. It's stuff like that that deserves to be talked about for a long time. These Ghostbusters chapters, people just like you, doing something, going above and beyond to just change the life of a child. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's pretty awesome. Andrew, I know they've already kind of stole all your best moments, but you got anything else?
A lot of people don't notice, but I actually do lift in my ecto. So when I drive around, like my city, like they just see me like driving around. It's funny to see people's reactions when I pull up, because a lot of times it doesn't show my car in like the Lyft app, but when I show up and they're like, "You called for a Ghostbuster, right?"
That is cool. That is amazing. You must get better tips that way, because they're just like so ecstatic to be in an ecto.
You would think so, but sometimes nah.
His ecto, the ecto, Toyota, the RAV4, it's a daily driver, and he works at a school, so there's like kids see that vehicle all the time. He drives around doing lift in that all the time. It's an amazing experience, getting to be in it myself, and he gets to do it all the time, which is so much fun.
If I was ordering a lift and an ecto pulled up, I wouldn't want to get out. Just keep driving me around. I'll pay whatever the fee is. I'm totally down with doing that. That would be awesome.
During when we got to go to the Ghostbuster Fan Fest in 2019.
Yeah.
And so the previous ecto, his Scion ecto, we got to drive that from Sacramento all the way down to LA, and even that whole drive was like an experience. All the cars just zooming past us on the freeway, then hitting the brakes, pulling back, taking pictures. Especially at night, you'll see a car pull up next to us, and you just see flash, 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 and then they take off.
Hell yeah!
That's so cool. That's so cool.
And our leader Rob, actually, he has a daily driver ecto as well. He has a Ford Flex that he's turned into quite the ecto. It's actually really awesome. But that's his daily driver. So it just in his neighborhood, he lives on the cul-de-sac, and so just always parked outside is this ecto. And I always wonder, like, man, growing up as a Ghostbusters fan, there wasn't a lot of things around. If I lived next to a guy who had a full-on ecto one, that must be the coolest thing ever as your daily driver.
I have a story. Sadly, when Harold Ramis passed away, I saw my truck. I go out one morning there's a bunch of Twinkies on my truck with a note saying, "Sorry for your loss."
Oh man! Wow.
I mean, seriously, like for someone, they must have been driving like for days and figuring out like that's a Ghostbuster car. Like, I know he likes Twinkies. Like, I'm not really a sweet person, but hey, I'll take food.
I ate them all. Yeah.
I would have done the same. You're not alone, Alex. I would have done the same. We love hearing about the charities that you guys support. We want to know some events you guys have done in the past, what events you guys have coming up, and how can people watching help you guys in the future? Where can they donate, or where can they find you guys? Give us the details.
Well, it's this year. It seems like we've been putting a lot of our time going to events that are. We've done a couple of events at the local art museum, the Crocker Art Museum. There's been a few times we've gone out to that. One of our biggest, almost like kind of like a sponsor of us, was definitely this child amusement park called Fairy Tale Town. Fairy Tale Town is a small like little kids amusement park in the Sacramento area that they've been around since the 60s. It's storybook themed. It promotes child literature through play. They're expanding into science. And so that last year they had an actual Ghostbusters. Every Halloween they do a different theme.
There's
one of the arts and crafts that we did with them. So last year they had a 4-night Ghostbuster event. And so we came out, we brought all our equipment for 4 nights, two weekends. It was the whole amusement park was Ghostbuster themed. They bought us actually all new uniforms, and then they bought this giant 30-foot tall like Stay Puft Marshmallow inflatable. And it's like we're so grateful for them that we're like, whenever you want us, just let us know. This year we had a Ghostbusters summer camp, which Chris and Aaron were there pretty much every single day, so they can tell you a little bit about the summer camp experience. And since our group is actually expanding into some other genres, like our buddy who built the Ectomobile, he actually built the Jurassic Park Explorer. He has like 2. The second it hauls a trailer that looks like the Explorer that's been turned upside down and crushed. Yeah. And so I know we came out to the Fairy Tale Town for their opening of their like science center that was all dinosaur themed. But this year definitely the Ghostbusters summer camp. Chris and Aaron can explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah, please do.
Slime. we actually made slime. What was in that?
It was, I don't know,
really gooey and viscous, and there was a lot of it.
We had a couple of really good I guess you would say educators, including Alex and Andy. We had Claire and we had Lee.
Gina was there, and George.
They were just amazing with the kids, and we basically what's funny is we actually because we were there off and on that whole week. It was they started to get to know us, and then we did things like Aaron helped some kids make some picture frames, and then
this is my own original artwork.
Oh yeah. Aaron did this one, and then there's a picture of us working with the kids on showing them how to use neutrino ones and things like that, and then I think the thing that I had the most fun doing, but it was really just the weirdest kind of fun, was making the slime, because they were making slime, and then they handed me this cup full of slime, and then eyes in it and named it something, and then
it had a name.
It had a name, yeah. And then she goes, here, watch it. Bloop or something. And she was like, here, watch Bloop or something. And then she just poured it in my hands. I was like, oh my goodness. And it wasn't consistent. So it was like I had to make my fingers. But no, the experience was that we actually being there for a good amount of time. Some of us actually had I guess you would say like a kid's fan base, really.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, Aaron made friends with a couple of these kids, and they're just like James. Aaron was his favorite.
Ghostbusters aren't real.
But Aaron was his favorite Ghostbusters. So like when I showed up and there was a day that Aaron couldn't make it, He was like, "Hey, where's the other guy?" He's actually on call right now.
Yeah, I was on a call.
Yeah, it's like, he's on the call. He's getting ghosts, and then and he's like, "Oh, okay," and he walked away and then talked to me again. I was like, "Hold on."
You didn't like it.
But yeah, no, so like I called. And then
We're getting some odd feedback, maybe a haunting going on there. Does anybody else hear that, or is that just me?
I haven't. I think Chris and Aaron's might be kind of breaking out a bit.
You know what? You know what it sounds like. It sounds like one of y'all have a neighbor who's like either cutting grass or something right now.
Oh, all right.
Look at this RAV4 Ecto. This is so sick.
That's mine.
Yeah.
So really quick, I put in the comments there's a link right there in the comments. So the Fairy Tale Town is they're going to be doing like a drive, kind of like for the park. It's the whole place is a nonprofit, and I know they're going to be doing they're going to be accepting donations for not just their place, but also some of the other charities that they work with. So if anybody wants to help donate, that's definitely one of many charities that we've been working with throughout our time. So definitely give that link a click and learn about Fairy Tale Town, the work that they do, and hopefully you guys can support them and donate.
There you go. What can they? Is it just monetary donations that they're looking for, or is it volunteer time that they're looking for? What are they?
I think right now I know that's probably one of their monetary donations, but definitely like if anybody's in the Sacramento area, to reach out to them for either volunteering or even getting a membership. If you have a family, if you have little ones, just becoming a member of the Fairy Tale Town community, getting a pass to go take your kids to the place, all that money goes directly to them and the programs they do. They're expanding learning center, education center, reading centers, and anything that you guys can do to support the park, we would appreciate it.
There you go. The link is in the chat. Fairy Tale Town. Support the park. Visit them. Donate. Donate some funds. It gives you. It also looks like there's an Amazon wish list that they have. That's pretty cool. So find out ways that you can donate to this facility and help make a difference. Help support the Sacramento Ghostbusters by supporting the charity groups that they're involved with.
And our next appearance will be on December 10th. So the Sacramento Santa Parade. We're going to be attending the parade. Andy and I have been doing it every year. For like the last 10 years.
Sometimes it was just the two of us, and then
driving in our Ecto, waving. Last year was the largest turnout. The Fairy Tale Town event had actually this dance team that were all dressed up as little Ghostbusters for their event, so we had them come out. So in our parade, we had 12 little Ghostbusters, with pom poms and doing dance routines in the parade. We had our Ectomobile, the R4. We had a pickup truck that had one of our 13-foot inflatables, and then a whole bunch of Ghostbusters. This year, we're going to not only have our Ghostbuster Ectomobiles, we're going to be having the Jurassic Park vehicles in the parade. We have somebody.
Nice.
We know somebody with a Jeep or Explorer.
Driving the pizza.
Yeah, I know. We also have the Pixar Pizza Planet truck that was built. That's going to be in it. I think Aaron's going to be driving that one around. We're all going to be dressed up as either Ghostbusters, Jurassic Park, Pixar. We have some friends from the Northern California Ghostbusters, NorCal, out of Northern State in Ukiah. They're coming down to join us. It's going to be, I think, the biggest turnout of Ghostbusters that we've had. There always seems to be a little bit of drama between teams and stuff, and I think we want to kind of show inclusivity. We want to work with other teams. There's this community is better when we all work together. And
Absolutely.
so becoming friends and getting together and doing joint ventures, I think that's one of the reasons why our team grew so much, because Chris and Aaron had a Terror Dog squad. They had their own group, and we're like, let's join together. Let's become one. And I think like our team just like exploded in numbers, and everybody is just all into it. And it's
been great.
But it's good. It's good to talk about though, because I'm going through a similar situation now. So I grew up in Virginia. I lived in Portland for 10 years. I moved there when I was like 22. And I've lived in San Antonio for a year. This is the first chapter that I've joined as a Ghostbuster in San Antonio. But I'm now making a move to Houston, Texas. And so I'm trying to. There was only one group in San Antonio. So I didn't really have to worry about any of that. So now I'm like auditioning groups, I guess. I don't know, like interviewing or trying to see who I might mesh with the most. It seems a lot easier if everyone just kind of congeals, but there is a lot of drama in some of these groups. I mean, you bringing that up is common. Was that a case in Sacramento before in that area, or have you sort of squashed that with just combining those two groups?
I'm sorry.
Well, I think one of the things for us, it was, we survived mainly because we stuck it out longest. There's groups come and go, and sometimes they want to show like, oh, we're bigger, or we can do more, and then they fizzle out. And it's like maybe it was just kind of a hobby or something they thought was cool, and then people's lives change and they move on. But we've stuck with it, and it's for us, it's something that's probably not going to go away. We'll always be here. If people want to join our team, we have some minimum requirements, and we just want people to come out that want to do this. We're not going to talk bad about anybody. We're not going to talk bad about any other teams. If they want to work with us, we're here. We're ready to work together. If they want to do something on their own, then by all means, as long as everybody is dedicated to helping others, being a Ghostbusters for other reasons, for groups, for charities. That's what matters the most.
Yeah, that is the point. I hope nobody else watching, if you know or you hear about another group, like that's why we do this, right? We're not doing this because we think like it's the coolest thing to do. It might be for a lot of people, but the fact that you can actually make a solid difference in your local community. We just visited a middle school a few weeks ago, and like for that middle school, it was like the best day of the year because you had a couple of Ghostbuster cars show up, and they had Ghostbusters handing out candy and stuff. And it's so small, maybe in the grand scheme of things, but to those kids, those few hundred kids out there, it was the best day ever. To those teachers, to the lunch ladies we took photos with, best day ever. So it's like it just the whole point is that like you can do a lot with being a part of a chapter, and that should always be the focus. Is that um, there are opportunities out there, and the sky's the limit on how far you can take it. So I hope that other chapters watching and everybody listening, I hope that you don't ever lose sight of that. That this is all, meant to be. I hope so. At least for us, it is. It's all meant to be for a bigger purpose, something bigger than ourselves. And the Ghostbusters, the suits, the proton packs, they're just the medium that we're using to put good vibes and positive things into the world. But yeah, I appreciate you talking about that. Two other things: a Ghostbusters dance team in a parade. That has to be a first. I've talked to a lot of chapters. I've never heard of a dance team. So congrats on
We've had a hockey team.
On being the first on doing a
No
dance team.
dance team, or that's a whole
pretty
new
sick.
layer.
Number two, I am very jealous of your Ghostbusters Dia de los Muertos patch that you got on your jacket there. How the hell did you get that?
This was the patch from the Afterlife premiere in, I think it was Merida, Mexico.
Yeah.
And so I did a patch trade with a Ghostbuster from Ghostbusters Guanajuato, which is where my dad's from.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
so, yeah, so, that's their team patch right there. And so,
so cool.
we traded our SAC logo for this amazing one, and then their team. Also repping our friends from a Hollywood Ghostbusters. Shout out to Hollywood.
Hey, Hollywood. That Dia de los Muertos, it maybe because I'm Hispanic, but it's by far the coolest logo I've ever seen. And I forget the artist's name. I apologize, but they did get a local artist in Mexico to come up with that design that they use for the festival poster. So I'm just astonished. I asked and I begged for a T-shirt with that logo, and they couldn't make it happen because of shipping and everything else. If you have an inside track on how we can get that logo on a shirt, I'm willing to pay for it, whatever the shipping cost might be, because I feel like that might be the coolest thing that's ever come out of a design.
Here, I found the photo. Let me see if you guys can see it. So there's the Ghostbuster dance team right there with their little pom poms and everything in the parade. And our friend George and his wife, he was an OG Ghostbuster. He was a teacher. Him and his 1984. Him and his the teachers at his school saw Ghostbusters. They made it a uniform. So he's been rocking the uniform since '84. So currently he is our chief operations officer for the team. So he's the guy that kind of organizes and run things. A position he reluctantly accepted when I, was trying to hand over the reins of running the team. After many years, he finally agreed. So I think the direction that the team is running is great. We all have our roles in the team, founder, creator, CEO, like it's all his dream, and we're just trying to make it happen.
Living the dream.
Which is cool. And speaking of patches, though, there's another project we have going on here a little bit, and I'm sharing the screen now. I have a number of patches from all of the teams that have come on to Ghosthead Radio. Here's Northwest. I have them from all over, and I'm going to be putting them onto this khaki jacket. I'm going to have it signed by the first Ghostbuster I can get, most likely Ernie Hudson, and then I'm going to put all of the chapter patches all over it, and then auction it off for charity. And so, if you guys would be willing to send one of your patches, that would be amazing. And then whoever wins it, I'll make the name patch whatever they want the custom name patch to be. But it'd just be a cool thing to have, and have it signed by Ghostbuster, but all the patches from all the sleeves and everything. I really love what you did with that spirit jacket there. So that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for on that. So if you would, that would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I think we can work something out.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting some more. If you guys are part of a Ghostbuster team, I would love to have your guys' team on my jacket also.
Oh, for sure, yeah. We could work out a trade or anything like that you'd be looking for sure.
Also, while you're getting mad at patch, Kevin Quinn is in the chat saying, "Can I get you guys a patch if it's okay? I just don't have the funds for it." So if you have an extra one lying around, Kevin would really appreciate that. We have another person in the chat saying, "Hey brothers, miss y'all."
That's
Jay.
That's Jay.
Oh, there.
Yeah, Jay is living the dream in film school right now, making movies. So we miss you. We hope he comes out to some events in the future or puts us in one of your movies.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Yeah, we actually are a part of the San Antonio Ghostbusters. They've been around, I think, a little over 12 years now, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe around the same time you guys had gotten together. And this is sort of a good segue into our final discussion here. Last year, we were, like you guys and many other chapters across the country, um, scrambling to put on a toy drive last winter when the call went out from the official Ghostbusters social media page that they wanted to have a nationwide toy drive. And so, with very little time to plan, us and many other chapters got together and put on toy drives in their local communities. And for us, speaking for us, and I'm sure other chapters had a very similar experience, it was a huge success. I mean, we had hundreds of items donated. It far surpassed our expectations. And me and Maddie B, a few months back, were talking about this with another chapter, and we said, "Can you imagine what we could have done with more time, with more planning, and more like weeks of accepting donations? Like how many more donations we could have gotten?" And so that has snowballed into what we are launching next week, a nationwide Ghostbusters chapter toy drive, very similar to the one done last year, but just with more time, with more organization, with every single chapter being highlighted as part of this massive campaign. Earlier on, we had the Virginia team telling us they're going to answer the call, they're joining the effort. And so, with you four gentlemen on the line right now, I'm also going to pose the question: will you answer the call? Will you join this effort? Will you be a part of the
Sure.
Ghostbusters nationwide toy drive as Chris is about to tase Aaron over there?
Yeah, it's about my bedtime. That's how he gets me to leave. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
Fantastic. That's another one that puts us very close to 35 chapters across the country. And this is going to be a massive effort, and it's going to be a whole lot of good is going to get done from this. So we appreciate you guys. You're already doing so much great things, so many good things in your local community in the Sacramento area. And we appreciate you talking with us. Don't forget Fairy Tale Land. The link is in the chat for you watching at home. Support this chapter by donating to the Fairy Tale Land by clicking the link, and also look these guys up. Go to their social media page, give their social media page a like, share their events. Like Aaron's already, like Alex has already talked about earlier. Um, there's so many groups, and everybody is kind of doing their own thing, but when we all focus on a common goal, there's really nothing we can't do. So if chapters are just supporting chapters from here on out, I mean, the sky's the limit with exactly how much we can get accomplished going forward. George George is in the chat saying the difference between Alex and the rest of us,
Sure.
he thinks that jacket look good.
I try my best.
There you go.
George, our OG. George, our current operations manager. And he's answering the call. Give us some boxes and a place to store them, and we'll collect the toys.
Well, George is also a legend on some classic Facebook message boards. I've interacted with George quite a bit. So George,
Really?
you are an incredible guy, especially in the
Mhm.
Spirit Proton Pack owners group and Ghostbuster franchises worldwide.
Mhm.
Love you, George. And he actually said something really funny. Remember that video, Ted, that we took with Morgan's in Wonderland where I'm dancing with the kids?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, he hit me with the what was it, Casey Kasem, uh, still making headlines around the country. George has been a long time friend of mine on those boards. I didn't know you were with Sacramento, George.
Oh
So
yeah, George. George
yeah,
is
good to see you in there.
George is kind of our right now. He's kind of our leader. So
Yeah,
his call sign is OG. We all have call
Yeah.
signs.
No, and he's a
you know.
Put some boxes
Hollywood.
in a place to store them, and we'll collect toys.
George, you can find some boxes, bud. You got it.
And he says OG as an old guard.
No, George is the man. I'm telling you, if you're on these Facebook Messenger, Facebook groups, George is the man. He's been in them for a long time.
And he's ours. He's ours.
Yeah.
So glad.
Kevin's still in the chat. Chris made me a member in his group, even though I'm in Michigan and I'm still waiting for the package. Chris, ooh, what's he talking about?
Oh, I need to send him that Tobin Spirit Guide. That's Kevin Quinn. He's actually an honorary P dog.
Oh, okay,
Nice.
You're sending him
Tobin
a Tobin
Guide.
Spirit Guide.
That's part of the recruitment. What is this?
I didn't get one.
No, I had an extra one laying around. And he asked for it, so I was like, yeah, I need to send that out to him. I totally,
Chris, I need to compute what you're saying right now. You just had an extra Tobin Spirit Guide laying around. That's like saying you have extra drugs. Nobody has extra
Brian
drugs.
has an extra Tobin.
He's got like 3.
There's a funny story to that. We had a buddy who got really excited when we were starting the Terror Dog Squad, and so Kevin and I were like, yeah, let's do this. So we told all our friends about it, and then one of the guys, bless him, his name's Mikey. He's just an amazing guy, and he bought a few things, and some of those things were, I don't know how he got like 3 or 4 different versions of Tobins, and I was like, hold on.
Wow, I mean that's a cool thing to have for sure.
What in the world? Yeah.
Giving me your copy.
That is awesome. Andrew, Alex, Chris, Aaron's been an absolute great time talking with you, gentlemen. Support the Sacramento Ghostbusters team by going to the social media pages, giving them a like, going to all the social media pages, sharing their content, sharing their events. That's how you can help support these other Ghostbusters chapters. All these chapters, us included, we need to support each and every one. Timothy Prince, I see you in the chat. Chris has been telling me to start a Ghostbusters cosplay for a while.
Nice.
Anybody that loves Ghostbusters, we're always telling them to just get a uniform, call us up. Get a uniform, call us. That's all that matters.
For sure.
Absolutely. It's been a great show. It's been a big stream. Appreciate you, gentlemen, joining us and also answering the call, being a part of this nationwide toy drive. It's going to be massive, and we're hoping for the best. We're hoping to touch the lives of thousands and thousands of families across this country, and I could think of nothing better to do during the holiday season than doing that. For the Ghostheads radio show, my name is Ted, aka Steady. Joining me as always, my partner in crime, the one and only Matty B.
We finished one, boys. We finished one.
Everybody in the chat, make some noise, show some love for the Sacramento team. Alex, Andrew, Chris, and Aaron from the Terror Dog Squad. They're doing big things in Cali. Show them some love, give them some support, and
California love, huh?
Yeah, California love.
Well, honestly, before we sign off, don't make me hit a rendition of this because I'm telling you, I will do some California love. There is video somewhere of me in full Ghostbusters gear, karaoke, California love, guaranteed.
Sound like you belong in Sacramento.
Yeah.
If you ever find yourself out here in Northern California, hit us up, all right? And if you guys want us on the show again, you know where to find us.
Yep. Awesome, man. Thank you.
Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us and sticking with us. We love you guys. More details coming next week on our show. This exact day next week, we will be dropping all the details regarding the toy drive, every chapter involved, where you can donate, how you can support this cause in your area. So please stay tuned next week. A lot more coming. We appreciate every one of you guys. Thanks for everybody watching. Have a great night.